Hello and welcome to Before You Watch, the podcast where we chat about what we've watched this week. My name's Ben. Hello.
Hello, I'm Alex. We're chatting. I can't say it's too early, or else we'll be demonetized on YouTube. But we're talking trash. Yeah, we're talking trash. I just noticed with our new kind of sitting, because we've kind of moved our sitting positions a little bit. You know the intro, Sons and Daughters, when when they have the cast in like a kind of a teabag stained picture, and they kind of go sons and daughters, and they're kind of like looking slightly sideways. Is it anyway? We look.
What
like
is
that.
Sons and Daughters? Never heard of it before.
Sons and Daughters was a soap from Australia many years ago.
So
yeah,
like Neighbours,
like Neighbours, or Home and Away, or Prisoner Cell Block H.
Was it about Sons and Daughters?
I think it was about family ties.
5 seasons,
Oh, look at
1982.
you. Gosh, she found that very quickly. I think
She looks like my mum. That one
she does, doesn't she?
in the 80s. Anyway,
If anyone who's watching or listening to the podcast, that means nothing to them. I am going to slide across a little bit, just a little bit like that. There we go. So, hello everyone. Hope you're all well. I find us on Linktree. God, I've completely whacked myself out of there. linktr.ee/faithful2, and on there you can find all the links to our social medias, but also ways you can watch or listen to us on your favorite podcast apps. And of course, if you like the podcast and you want to help us monetarily, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful, and on there you can give us a £5 one-off or monthly donation. Thank you to
who?
To someone who gave us a £5 donation very recently, to whom Ben's name will come out of his lips very, very soon. Thank you, Emma.
Emma Perry, thank you.
Emma, you've been very helpful.
The show.
And also, I want to quickly say thank you to all the comments we had about an idea that is perhaps the most obvious idea, and we are going to implement it on this episode. You will now be finding timestamps for all the things we'll discuss. So if it's something you've not seen or something you're planning to see, and in case we do spoil it a little bit, you can just skip to the next show. We also be telling you how much of the show we've watched beforehand, so you know whether we've watched the whole thing or not.
We get a bit excited sometimes. Last week we were talking about Bait. Got excited about Raz. Can't remember his name. And we went to spoilers by mistake. It's because we get too excited about what we're talking about. So we are going to warn you guys how much we've watched, what we're going to talk about before we talk about the show. And we've got things coming. What are we talking about this episode?
We are talking about Jury Duty Presents Company Retreat.
Amazon.
Super Mario Galaxy, the movie.
Cinema.
I'll be talking a lot about that. Waxing lyrical. Something very bad is going to happen on
Netflix, yes.
But before any of that,
bit of horror.
We've got a bit of mopping up to do, Ben. We've just finished our tea. There's a little bit of gravy on the plate. I've got a bit of bread and butter, and I'm mopping it up.
What?
God, I feel like I'm in control today. This is lovely. Last one, Laughing 2.
Oh, yeah.
The UK version on Amazon Prime. What
And we're
a
not going to
disappointing
spoil
end.
this, by the way. We're not going to say who won,
No.
etc. But the last half of that series has come out. I will say, we've watched both series now. And as always, I can feel flaws in the format.
It's not it feels like it's not a long. It feels like it can't go on for much longer, and that's only after 2 series. It feels like it's already lost its edge. And as much as the hype and the excitement that they've had for the second series has been, like, they've been everywhere. They've been advertising it. All the comedians have been doing all the different podcasts. Chief of the Sea's got a new podcast when she's on a pedalo in the middle of a lake. Yes. If you can find it on YouTube, please find it. It's hilarious. And it's I don't know, it feels like it's already dead. That format's finished. And yet I know that other countries are now on to series 174. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how they can make it any more.
I know how they can make it better. The trouble is, the show it gets a bit like, well, what's happening here? Because when they start getting rid of the contestants, and it's like, and you're kind of left with especially series 2, you're left with contestants who aren't laughing. And then it becomes not funny. And it's like, well, what am I watching? What are we doing? What's happening here? All that sort of stuff. What they need to do is, when it comes to the last hour or 2 hours of the show, just bring everyone back in who's been eliminated and get them to try and make people laugh, because they'll be more free to laugh at what they're doing themselves. I think that's what they need to do. Just have it as an ensemble cast the whole way through. And once you've got a red card, you're now an attacker and you just have to attack.
Oh, that's a good one. And
Jimmy Carr can say, Diane Morgan, could you go on the attack for Sam Campbell for me, please, for 20 minutes?
And she can laugh because she's eliminated.
Yeah, they come in, do it, and go out again. That's what they need to do, I think,
because Jimmy Carr already does that. So he comes in.
He's not funny.
Exactly. That's the bone of contention in all this. So yeah, he kind of already goes in, and he's with that comedian Roisin. And she's quite funny too.
Well, get her in there.
Why does she
Get her
just?
off her
Why
arse
does she
and
just
get
sit
her
there?
in.
I don't really understand why. I do know why she's there. She's there for the beginning when Jimmy Carr basically sits there on his own and has to like make snide remarks on his by himself. But
easy gig for her.
It's an easy gig for all of them. Like we already know that they're getting paid an outrageous amount of money for 6 hours work. But
Apparently, it's 12 hours.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 12 hours.
12
Have
hours
they called their union?
For over 100k apparently each. So,
Oh dear, my heart bleeds for them.
The thing is, it's so funny to begin with, but then as it goes on, it's like it's not really. You're sitting there sort of thinking, well, I kind of feel a bit awkward now, especially with how series 2 ended. I won't say who was what, but it was a bit like.
And there's some real good comedians in there, but like some of the funniest stuff they were doing was actually happening outside of the main tournament area, if that makes sense. So when they were talking with Jimmy Carr in the watcher's room, let's just say the CCTV room, that was some of the jokes they were making in there were funnier than the ones they were doing in the room. Look, I love the format, I really do. Series 1 was brilliant. Series 2 was great, but it just kind of lost steam at the very end.
Yeah, the first half was great. I said last week, Series 2 is better. It's not. Series 1 is better than Series 2. The first half of Series 2 is better.
Yes.
But it went downhill quick.
And as you say, I think mainly because the comedians forgot how to laugh, weirdly. Like the final kind of 4 that were left in there, they didn't seem to like, it was almost like they lost the ability to laugh. It was really odd.
It's weird. So, yeah.
But it was fine. It was a good watch.
Still good to watch. Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a Series 3. I'm sure it'll be hyped like hell.
Oh, well, there's a Series 3 and Halloween.
You're quite right. They've already announced that. But again, is another thing I've noticed is the number of clips that have come out of it. Not so many. Like in Series 1, there were lots. And I know a lot of them were Bob Mortimer. And there's Bob Mortimer's song he sings, "You're a dustbin, you're a ball bag." That was
from the first half, though.
Yeah.
Nothing from the second half I've seen.
Yeah. That was brilliant. Yeah. And that's going around doing the rounds. But yeah, shame, but you never know. Series 2, it's always a difficult second album, isn't it? That's what they say about TV shows. And normally Series 1, especially if it's super popular, they come in with Series 2 and everyone's a bit like, oh, I'm a bit disappointed by that. But then they come storming back through with Series 3. So we'll see.
We also, once again, ventured out of the house and went to the cinema.
We did.
This week.
We did. But
it's becoming a regular thing.
But good purposes this time.
Seen the same adverts twice now.
We have. We have, haven't we? I just realised that they were the same trailers. Right. Okay, so as we say, we watched the complete film, obviously, because we went to the cinema to watch it. So there will be a lot of spoilers in the Super Mario movie.
Depends how in-depth
Galaxy
you're going.
movie. Well, I mean, a lot of things were spoiled beforehand. For instance, when they did that picture of Fox McCloud and they said he was going to be in it, I was so like, oh, that would have been a brilliant reveal.
Nintendo, why post that on social media saying, by the way, there's a secret cameo in the film, here it is. It's like, thanks.
There is another secret cameo right at the very, very, very end if you stay for the full credits. So there's 2 post-credit sequences. There's one which is an obvious one with Bowser and Bowser Jr. in jail and one of the Lumas kind of like teasing them. But then...
Gosh, you really are spoiling everything.
There's timestamps now, so I can say what I want. But then there's a really big... And I'm not going to say,
also,
actually,
can I just say...
there's a really big one at the end of the credits.
It's a Super Mario movie. When we say spoilers...
Yes. It's going to be something that's in a Mario universe.
And this is something that I've seen online. Well, just the fact that on the reviews for this, it's just ridiculous because people are coming out and doing video and analysis like we are. But it's like they're treating it and they're like 2 stars, 1 stars, really bad rating. There's no plot, or this plot is really thin and weak. It's like you're watching a Mario movie.
I mean, what are you comparing it to? I mean, I
thought it was great. I had a great time the whole time.
It's a stupid romp where basically there's lots of cameos of lots of characters from Nintendo franchises.
Space adventure.
What more? And it's in space, and especially with the world we're going back to the moon. We need space movies. We're going to have another like. When we first went to the moon in the 60s, there was lots of space movies at that point. The Space Odyssey, 2001. That's to name one of many, which I can't think of off the top of my head. So Mario Galaxy is going to start a new trend of space movies. I guarantee it. And I don't know what people want from a Mario movie. Like I've seen some reviews in like written reviews and, as you say, video essays. And it's like, what do you want? The Godfather in space with Super Mario in it? I don't get it. What are you ridiculous. Hoping to find?
What it is, it just feels miserable. It's like The Guardian, 2 stars. It's like, well, so what?
Yeah, but IGN gave it. I think they gave it 6.
I know.
And it's like, what do you want? IGN, of all places, like, you should know better than to. And when we were watching the review by IGN for the film, the guy, like, you could tell the guy felt like this was below him. And it's like, you work for IGN, mate. Like, what kind of
Also,
films do you think is going to be above you?
It's a kids' film. It feels like it's a kids' film that loads of old men are watching, and they're like, well, this isn't great.
Hello.
It's like,
I'm an old man, and I thought it was wonderful.
Exactly. Just have some fun and watch it, and you don't need an elaborate plot. You don't need a dark, upsetting backstory. It's just, it is what it is.
I'm sorry. And it was very dark and upsetting. You learnt that Rosalina and Princess Peach
are related.
Are siblings. What more can you do? That's now lore in the Nintendo universe.
That's different, isn't it?
But that's another big question people have been saying. Lore in the movie, does that translate now to Mario games?
2 stars.
It's two out of 10. But that's an interesting thought. It's like, because the Nintendo said in the first Nintendo movie, Mario movie, that the lore in for Donkey Kong in the movie. I'm going deep now. I'll give it 10 out of 10. The lore in Donkey Kong in the Mario movie does not translate to the lore in as the released game Donkey Kong Bonanza. Wow. You see what I mean?
So they're
Bonanza
two separate also
things.
messed up the lore of the world. So,
but they did a little bit, because now Cranky Kong is now the second generation Cranky Kong, because that Cranky Kong is actually the Donkey Kong country.
But
Donkey
Pauline's
Kong.
a young girl, and it's in the future, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. But when does anything make sense? It's like the Zelda timeline, isn't it, by Nintendo? It's like there's so many now branches of it. It's like, well, if this had happened in this game, this would have happened.
Yeah.
And if this had happened in that game, then that would have happened. So, you know, it's a video game. You can't think too deeply about it, as you can't with the film. But I thought it was really good. And if you want an example
of
how
fun.
Well, if you want an example of how good it is and how it's actually targeting the audience perfectly, in the cinema where we watched it, there was this little girl, and as we were watching, she was coming in with her dad, and I said to you, it was adorable.
She had a Princess Peach backpack.
A Princess Peach doll, a Princess Peach backpack. She had a little crown.
She was there for Princess Peach.
She was there for Peach action. And the moment Peach came on screen, she went, "It's Peach!" And it was like, honestly, it melted my heart. So it's not
It's like you stepping back 40 years in time, wasn't it?
What, with my Princess Peach crown? It's true. No, I would have worn my Donkey Kong. I said to you when we got...
not in it.
He is.
Only for like half a second.
Thank you. I said to you, didn't I? I said, like, oh, I've missed a trick here. I should have worn my Donkey Kong t-shirt when I came in. So I was a bit pissed off I forgot to do that. But yeah, no, look, all these reviewers for these newspapers and online, this, that, and the other, these adult men who are like saying, like, this is an awful film and it's crap and there's no plot and there's no story. Think about the little girl who's in that cinema who screamed when they saw her hit. Oi.
Think about little Alex.
Think of little Alex who screamed when he saw his favourites on that big screen just then.
Yeah.
It was excitement, and that's what the film is for. It's a bit of nostalgia for idiots like me, and it's a moment to meet your heroes for little girls like Alex, or that little girl who was wearing a Princess Peach costume.
Also, for the older person who's watching the film, there's so many fun references about like like all the old games. It's worth you watching as well, as if you were a parent or whatever. There's loads of really cool things that would never get mentioned.
But
like
I guess
the final battle with Bowser was really clever. How they did the bridge and stuff.
What about when Matthew? What about when Mario and Luigi were like mopping up the problems in the Mushroom Kingdom when Princess Peach disappeared? Yeah. There was a map from Super Mario World for crying out loud, and every time they completed something, a flagpole went up.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
People were just miserable.
They're being bad,
and it's like, this isn't 2 stars. This is an 8 out of 10.
Do you know what knocked a few stars for me though? And I said this again to you in the cinema. They did the dirty on one of my favourite characters. I can't believe they did the dirty on Birdo.
Birdo.
Why would you do that to Birdo? I know that they were a boss character
enemy,
in Mario Brothers 2, which isn't technically Mario Brothers 2, but most people know that. But I know that all the characters in that casino were referencing Mario Brothers 2.
That casino scene was really good too. I liked it.
But they did the dirty on Birdo.
Well, they. My favourite comment I've seen online is where someone was like, "This is a great film because there's no LGBT."
Yeah, some right-wing commentator said no LGBT in a Super Mario movie.
All the comments were just photos of Birdo. It's like, she's our trans ally.
Can we also say Luigi is also
bisexual
ally?
Well, and the online law assumes.
Well, and also Mario came out on X and said that he supports gay marriage while wearing a suit.
He did.
This actually happened.
It did,
ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, But so yeah, to say it's not a gay to say it's not a gay movie is also ridiculous. Like it's so camp,
So colourful.
It's so colourful. Did it make your eyes pop like you're watching the brand new TV? That's a reference to another podcast we do.
Right. So after this short break, we are going to be talking what we've got next: jury duty and a horror of something very bad is going to happen. Okay, so. Jury duty. No, it's not actually called jury duty. We're talking about series 2. We've now watched the entire thing. Mm-hmm. Do you want to kind of explain what this is to people?
So we've watched the entire thing. So we will maybe talk about the ending of the episode. So again, if you don't want to know, skip.
This is the type of show though where like you can't really have a spoiler because it's like.
No, because you know the premise of the show already. So the premise of the show is, so they did it before about 2 years ago called Jury Duty.
Didn't watch it.
Was that we didn't watch it, but it was about a guy who was in a fake court case, but part of the jury, and all the jury and all the court proceedings was done by actors. He didn't know. It was a little over the top, and then at the end of it, they were like, a bit like Candid Camera. They were a bit like, surprise!
Yeah, you've been punked.
Yeah, you've been...
Ashton Kutcher came out.
He punched Ashton in the face. There was libel. We don't talk about it.
It's like
anymore.
a big version of Punked / that film, Truman Show.
I mean, let's
think of it like that.
It's very Truman Show. I felt,
especially series 2.
Series 2 is very, very Truman Show. So they've obviously realised Jury Duty is very popular. Let's spin it. So instead of doing the same thing again, they now use the tagline Jury
Duty presents,
and now it's a company retreat. So a guy gets introduced into this hot sauce company, and it's going to be taken over by the owner's son, who's a bit incompetent in business, makes a bit of a mess up. So then a big company steps in and wants to take it over. But then the guy discovers that this big company wants to sell off all the land, all the assets, and strip the company and basically just sell it off then bit by bit by bit.
But everything's acted and scripted apart from the one guy who's been hired.
Yes.
He thinks he's been hired for a job.
And he's the hero. In all the scripts and all the rehearsals, according to all the actors, he's known as hero. So his name's Anthony, but as they're rehearsing it, he's known, because you see at the end that how they were done and how it was rehearsed, and he's known as the hero. So he's basically, to win the game, essentially it's a big game. If you think about it, it's like a big game. To win, he needs to tell the boss not to sign the paperwork at the end and save the company. Save the girl, save the company. And so that's what he does essentially, and then he's told, and he wins a cash prize at the end of it, $150,000.
Watching this, if you're not really interested, because I wasn't really interested in Jury Duty, and then I saw a thing online about how someone said if you missed The Office or Parks and Rec, then watch series 2 of Jury Duty because it's like a new series of that, and that intrigued me enough. But like, so if you like situational comedy or like how Parks and Rec is filmed, like the steady cam, you'll enjoy this. But also for like, if you like TV from like a technical point of view, there's a lot to get out of this as well. Because when you're watching it, it is amazing. You slowly see how pre-planned everything is. And it's really impressive that they've got this whole company retreat and like a character, because all the actors stay in character all this. Even when Anthony's not there, the hero, they stay in character and they run their scripts and they have conversations. And like they will say things that seem flippant, and then like 3 episodes later, something will come up, and it's like this chain event of, because this person said this near Anthony on another table, he psychologically heard it, and then something happened. It's so clever, and from a technical point of view, it's really fun to watch. Like to think, how did they film this? And then the last episode, they sort of go behind the scenes. So there's loads here to enjoy for lots of different TV reasons.
An example of that is that they talk about the time capsule in about episode 2 or 3 when they're at the retreat. And it's a kind of like a running, consistent thing that's reminded to Anthony that there is a time capsule somewhere buried, or he believes buried in the retreat. You find out that it's not been buried, that the guy who's the HR manager had the time capsule the whole time in his office. And you find that out because it was touched by Anthony in episode 1 when he went into the office and said, "What's this?" and held it in his hand. He went, "Oh, nothing at all." So that was almost like a mess up because they kind of wanted him to know that it was there, but it was like a good throwback and reference. Yeah, the writing is outstanding. Like how they're able to just drop a little clue and then have Anthony pick it up and then run with it.
And like the fact that he does it as well. Like they, I mean, the guy in series 1 became really popular online because he was such like a nice guy. And like they were like, "Can you find 2 nice men?" Yeah. And it's like the guy that they found in this one is like
the nicest guy.
He's so sweet. It's like he's doing everything he can for this temp job that he's doing. And it's like they were so lucky to get him because like there were so many situations, and I was thinking, if I was a temp and they were asking me these things, I'd half-ass it. I wouldn't put a lot of effort into this work because I'm a temp. But he does everything, and it all works out. And there's so much like peril while you're watching it because anything could happen.
That's
or
the
he
thing,
could
isn't
react
it?
in any way. But you really, really root for him because
Cool.
he's such a nice guy, and it's just it's really good. I recommend everyone watch this.
When we were watching at the end, there was bits when I was saying, "Oh yeah, but you know, what he should do is this, and what he should do is that," and you had to keep reminding me. It's like, Alex, this isn't real.
Yeah,
this is made up. This whole scenario, this whole situation, them
you were
buying
really
the
against
company.
the baddies.
I was for the hero. I was for Anthony and for the company because they was again so round. Like you can watch comedies or dramas that are not like set up candid camera moments. They're actually scripted 2-camera comedies or drama programs, and like the characters in those aren't as well rounded as the ones that they had in the company retreat for this series. The person who wrote it, I'm presuming it's a group of writers, it was a room of writers, but like every single like minor detail about all of them was considered. So
that's what's amazing.
Their back history, what's their past.
It's like knowing how much has gone into each single person is so like insane when they go through it, and it must be like the actor's dream. Like this is, if you like improv and you're an actor, this must be like a week of heaven because you're literally improv 24/7. And it's just insane to think of all the stuff they went through. Because they had to meet each other and the names and all that.
The actors met up about a month before they even started rehearsing so they could get to know each other. They can get to know. Then they were making up backstory for each other. Like you saw again in the final episode, you kind of got a brief kind of like, this is how it was done. They pulled back the curtain and said, this is how we did it. And it was just the detail when Anthony said like he couldn't believe that the father and son weren't father and son because he said, you kiss all the time. You kept kissing on the lips.
Yeah, and it was like because it's on the lips, it's kind of weird, but it's like it's in a weird way that like they must be father and son.
Yeah, they must be father and son.
What they do is this weird thing. Yeah, it's just it's so interesting to watch it, to see like all the crew and like there were cameras in bins and there were crew in like shut up ice cream van, like all this stuff, and like
all
everything.
The windows were mirrored so that they could put the camera behind the mirrors. So the whole premise was that they were saying they were filming a documentary about the company retreat for television. So it made sense for there to be cameras about because there was no way they could have done something because. Again, the director said that when we did the jury service, it was all contained. So you could set up fake walls, set up cameras. You could have like CCTV cameras that looks like as the courtroom. So it was easier to do. When you're outside in the environment, they had to build fake sets. They had to build fake fake, as you say, bins and
the gazebo, all sorts.
Gazebos, yeah. So they could like hide cameras in them. And I'm also intrigued because at the end of this the series, they said, "Oh, we're going to do a little mini series explaining how, in a bit more depth, how things were done." But on top of that, Amazon are introducing on the existing 2 series a commentary and like a DVD style commentary with the actors and the director and the producer, and that's made my heart sing because that's something I really, really, really miss about DVDs not being a thing anymore, and that's an audio commentary with it. And there's no reason why Netflix or any other streaming service can't add that.
That's a really easy extra. I used to do the Simpsons DVDs. They did every single episode with Matt Groening and the writers, and every single episode. I listened to all of them because you get so many bits and pieces about behind the scenes of the TV and why certain lines, or you learn about things that are cut or that didn't work and all sorts. So
should we do an audio commentary on our podcast? This was the moment where I picked up my coffee cup and
the microphone broke.
And I thought to myself, God, Ben, when are you going to let me talk?
So yeah, highly recommend Jury Duty Series 2. We've not even seen Series 1. But this one I feel like has much more stakes and peril, and because the actors in Series 1 they're technically strangers because it's jury duty.
Yeah.
On this one they all had to know each other, so there was so much hidden extras that they had to do that it's just if you love TV, like the behind the scenes of TV, it's so fun just to watch it just for that. But it's also like this could easily be a sitcom, like the way it was written and acted and the characters and their one lines and their bits to camera. It could have been a series of The Office spin-off. Like they could make a scripted series with these actors. I think.
Yeah, if they did, 100%. And that was the funny thing. At the end of it, all the actors said to each other, like, we're going to remain friends after this. And even the hero, Anthony, said, like, I'm going to remain friends with. It was the boss's son, wasn't he? He was really close. And the elderly woman,
yes,
because she really got upset. She was genuinely honoured that she was able to spend time. She said, like, you know, a lot of people would have just ignored me, and I knew my character. Yeah, I knew my character was going to be a dangerously kind of like left out character. But you actually made me join in with lots of different things. So there was parts when I wasn't actually meant to be there, but you pulled me in to do them, and I appreciate that so much.
And there's so much footage as well, because they said, like, when things were like lots of ridiculous things were happening, to make it feel like this is a real retreat, they then made them do really boring talks and like office work and stuff. So
they didn't show any of them.
No, but there's loads of times where he's just sat there and he's listening to health and safety seminars and things, and it's like the commitment to it is so fun and impressive.
It was only the high moments that they showed, which were basically continuing the plot, moving the plot along, that they showed. But yeah, as you said, there were moments because they had to make it 7 days of a normal retreat. There were moments in there, like them having breakfast together, them watching, you know, all kinds of. They didn't show it onto the show. And again, I can't wait to see the DVD commentary for it. But as you say, watch it if you enjoy like fly on the wall style documentary comedy series, but also watch it if you enjoy the makings of television, because even before they do the bit at the end where they explain how things are done, you sit there and you kind of think, God, how do they work that one out? How do they get that? How do
also
they
just to watch it for like, there's a real feel good factor because he's such a nice guy as well, where you're really by the end of it you are like, go on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I enjoyed. Right, so the last thing we're talking about is a horror TV series, limited series called Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen. And it is like the trailers did Duffel Brothers Presents quite a lot. It's kind of because they made Stranger Things, and it's kind of, is it their production or they've done something?
They're executive producers, but I think I get a funny feeling that they're executive producers in the way that you get an actor on a show by being an executive producer, a bit like Cherish on the comeback. She's an executive producer. So I very much believe that Netflix deliberately put their name front row and center to kind of say like, oh look, it's the Duff Brothers. You know Stranger Things. You know that TV series that everyone loved but had a really bad ending. Yeah, they're now executive producers on this. No other input, didn't write it, didn't direct it, didn't do anything else, didn't do the sound or the camera work. No, they're just their name.
We don't actually know, but who knows?
I feel
it feels that way.
It feels like Netflix liked the premise, didn't have too much confidence with the premise, thought if we slap that name on it, more people will watch it. And I think that did work because it's quite high up on the Netflix chart.
We've watched, how much have we watched? 4
We've watched
episodes.
Halfway through. So again, if you don't want to know, up to halfway of the episode, it's a good place to kind of like stop though, because I say that episode 4 is a bit of a landmark episode.
Yeah, it's the trouble with horror, especially for TV for me.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is because I'm older now, but like horror, the first 2.5 episodes, because it's a horror element, I feel like I'm wasting a lot of my time watching it, because there's a lot of walking through a corridor very slowly and music, and like it's about a couple who are going to the guy's family home to get married, and you're following the point of view of the main character is his partner, and it's very much sort of like his family are creepy, and there's like 20-minute segments of her walking around this creepy family house, and all the family are acting weird and saying really cryptic things, and like eating bloody meat steaks, or sitting by the fire, or
stuffed dogs that you're not allowed to stare at, because if you stare at it, the dog will come and kill you.
They're wearing weird clothes, and it's like, well, and it's like, it's horror, tense, and then by the end of the episode, like
the dad's digging a grave,
and he walks around the hallways going,
why are you wearing that? That's not yours.
What are you doing here? And it's like, but then it will be like, she'll think, oh, they're really weird and creepy, they're trying to kill me. And then they suddenly, they're like, oh, hi, why are you scared? And then they're sitting around a day table having coffee and cakes.
And counselling by the woman.
And they're acting really normal. And it's like, well, if you acted normal in the first place, the main character wouldn't be freaked out. It's like, well, but there's no reason for them to be acting this way. But they're acting that way because it's a horror show, so we're filming it and adding this false... That's the problem. It's like, I feel like this show would be so much better if it wasn't a horror, if it was just a normal drama. Because like with a supernatural twist, obviously, but like it's better when it's just being normal, I feel. Like these bits where it's like the creepy sisters looking in a mirror, and it's like, well, why?
I feel like it's being deliberately done for misconceptions guide. It's deliberately trying to misdirect
it feels
your
like
attention.
I'm wasting my time. It's like, just get on to the end of the episode, and then it's like, oh, actually, this is interesting.
And the problem is that they instantly retcon the problem that was at the beginning of the episode. So as you say, in episode 1, they have the creepy drive leading up to it. In episode 2, the family are being like super creepy. But then by the end of episode 2, you find out the reason why they're doing it.
And then they act normal.
It's because the mother is dying and she wanted to keep it a secret. And so this secret was kind of like suppressing their normality a little bit, which is very weird. Then episode 3 came along where it kind of like just plodded along. But then episode 4 was then when it kind of explained everything beforehand, but it still didn't really make much sense. So it feels like it's a constant retcon of this is a problem, it's fine, it's being fixed. This is a problem, it's fine, it's being fixed, which is fine if it's like a kind of like a episodic, each episode is a different problem. But this is meant to be one long story that happens throughout. And I agree. It's 8 episodes. We're on episode 4. We now know we believe we know the main premise of why everything's going to be weird.
Don't need to go into details.
I'm not going to go into details, but suffice to say, it's not the family that's the problem. It's actually the fiance, the woman, the one who's getting married. And it's really like, I don't know, it just feels like, where do we go from here? And it's like, a lot of TV shows are as I said, like there's no kind of structure like a theatre play or a film. Like a film or a theatre play has two or three acts to it. And so it feels like this TV show is trying to do the same, and we're just now finishing Act 2, and we're now getting to the final part. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It feels like there should be one more episode, but there's 4 more episodes.
Yeah, and I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know what, because I feel like I know everything I need to know now. I'm bored of the creeping around. I just get to the ends now.
Because everyone's being super, like the son is like being like really weird, kind of like Omen-esque, supernatural. Like at the beginning, he was kind of like hated everyone and was really angry and shouting around the house, and then all of a sudden he was like all kind of scared and upset and worried about. Is her name Rachel? I forget.
I don't know any of their names, and like even his wife, who's like the English wife, like. I don't know. Just it's the things that are annoying. She's the main character is very much a horror main character of where they walk into a basement and you're just thinking like, just don't go in the basement. But on this, she does all the things where you're screaming like, just don't do that, or at least question something. But she doesn't do any of that. She just goes along on this stupid thing, and it's really frustrating.
What's more frustrating is that all these things are happening to her, and she's not like in a lot of horror films where she would keep it to herself and not tell anyone. You're like, for God's sake, why would you not tell anyone all this? She actually is telling people this information, and they're acting, and they're almost like they then course correct themselves. It's like, oh, I'm ever so sorry that you thought we were trying to murder you. Yeah, and then they did make a joke of it, to be fair, but then it's like, if you had to write it away in the actual story, that the fact that she bought them a cake saying, sorry, I thought you were going to kill me, it's like saying like, well, that's a real bad plot hole that you created and you're correcting, but it's not like we're now on to series 4 and so you have to retcon something that happened in series 1. This is the same series.
It is.
Why are you making problems for yourself so early on in something?
I feel like this should have been, you remember that really good Netflix show called Behind Her Eyes?
Do you know what? I knew you were going to say that.
I think this is what this could be like. That's what it should be like. That genre. Where it's
supernatural drama.
Supernatural, but not horror. The horror bit is the bit that kind of ruins this for me. It makes it feel really dragged out. And like, we almost gave up after episode 2, but then we saw online, like, from episode 4 onwards, the show kind of changes genre and plays around a bit more, and it becomes less. I think it becomes less horror as it goes on. So we carried on. And episode 4, to be fair to it, is a found footage episode, and that was quite good. You got a lot of story and back story and stuff,
but that's why I say it felt like we've now finished the first 2 acts of this. We don't need to. We now are on the home stretch, and that's why I kind of think that, as you say, it's going to be a completely different show now. And I am looking forward to seeing the end of it. I do genuinely want to know how it will end, because I am intrigued. And it's got a good premise. Like you said, Behind Her Eyes has a brilliant premise to it. And it's really...
Still one of the best twists on a TV series.
Absolutely. And it keeps you thinking all the time. It keeps you wondering what's going to go on with that. While with this, it's like... It's almost... The road's been laid for you. You're just kind of just walking it.
It reminds me of Behind Her Eyes.
Yep.
Mixed with the film Drag Me to Hell. That's what it is. And Drag Me to Hell, I love Drag Me to Hell, because it's quite... It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's quite camp with the way it does it. And Behind Her Eyes has an amazing supernatural twist which you don't see coming. That's what this could be. I don't know. I'm going to have to wait till I see all of it, but I'm not completely convinced it's worth 8 episodes. But we'll see.
I'm hoping that this, like I say, the final half will be with big payoff, and I'm hoping there is still something we don't know yet, because as I said, I feel like we've discovered too much. We've discovered everything. Yeah. We know now the family.
By the end of episode 4, I feel like the final is next episode, but there's 4 more, so I don't quite know what else is going to happen, but we'll find out next week maybe.
The problem is we've now got this. April has got a lot of very strong shows coming. Like we're panicking about how we're going to fit them all in doing this podcast for the next few weeks.
I've got a list.
Pen's made a list, so that's the main thing.
That's how many there are.
But there really is. There's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. And that doesn't mean we don't want you guys to suggest any. So please get in touch with us if there's anything you think's coming out and you think is going to be right up our boulevard. But in a such a strong season, it feels like this show's kind of just been put there as a kind of like just a stopgap. But if you don't get time to get around to watching it, I think it'll just get lost in the ether. I don't think it's going to be remembered as well as maybe other shows coming or have come. Like Jury Duty, I think I'll remember that for a long time. But this show...
Yeah, it's kind of, it feels like, you know, Haunting on Hill House came out quite a few years ago.
Yes,
like that was real. That was like brand new, popular. Never seen. This feels like this is like 3 years, a bit too late.
But that's something else we said, isn't it? We said that there seems to, because there was another thing we saw on Apple TV, and it feels like we're now getting into a supernatural horror genre period of television, because there's now been 2 or 3 come out all at the same time. It always happens.
Politics.
It could
depends what the world.
Horror films are going to be.
They become popular when like there's bad stuff happening in the world, don't they? People like to get to escape into a horror or a slasher and stuff.
The last peak of horror slasher films was the late 70s, early 80s. So what
early 2000s?
What was the politics world? Oh, that's true. It had a bit of a resurgence in the late 90s. We were politically, I would argue, we were politically much more on still waters in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Who knows?
But I must say, I think if you have noticed that a lot of kind of like...
Wait, when was September 11? That's 2001, wasn't it?
It was.
That's when the world changed.
Scream came out in like 97, because I remember I snuck into the cinema and watched it because I'm a naughty boy. But yeah, I mean, I do love horror gothic genre films, but I don't like jumpy films. And so if you can just find that balance for me, then I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Well, let us know, everyone, if you've watched any of the things we've talked about, what you thought of any of them, and any suggestions. How do they get in touch, Alex?
Well, Ben, you can do a Ouija board, and on the Ouija board, ask the spirits to get in touch with Ben and Alex of Faithful 2 podcast. Other ways, though, is you can use the World Wide Web, which is a very newfangled thing recently. I've just discovered it myself. And you go to Linktree, linktr.ee/faithful2, and on there it's got all the links to our YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favourite podcast apps where you can watch or listen to us. If you are watching us, you can, of course, comment underneath the video to get in touch with us. If you're not, then you can always get in touch with us directly on our social media, which is all the links are on there as well. If you like the podcast, please don't forget you can help us monetarily by going to buymeacoffee.com/faithful, and on there you can give us a £5 one-off or monthly donation.
Lovely. Right. So we will see you all again next week. We also have our other podcast going on at the moment. We've got The Apprentice final coming out. We're doing Race Across the World now.
We are. We've got The Neighbourhood coming on ITV at the end of the month. And we might be doing the I'm a Celebrity spin-off in South Africa.
Oh, yeah. Gemma Collins is there.
What more can you ask for? So don't forget to subscribe and follow us and ring the bell and do all the things, because if you like any kind of TV, reality TV, or just TV in general, or movies, apparently we do that now and then.
Also follow our Instagram, because we put on our stories quite a lot about what we're watching during the week for this podcast, so you might get a little hint of what we're going to talk about, and then you can watch it too. So follow us on Instagram. And shout out to another podcast that mentioned us, because we talked about Karen Brady having a love affair. Was it sparkle in her eye for a certain character on The Apprentice? So shout out to that podcast in return. Lovely. So we will see you all again soon. Goodbye.